Do you remember those first several service calls where you had to go out to diagnose a heat pump that wasn't running for some reason? And didn't you hate going to those calls? Like I had made the decision that I just hated heat pumps. Well, the reason I hated them is because I just didn't understand them. Because later, as my skill level increased and I understood heat pumps at a deeper level, I wasn't scared of them anymore. So it didn't matter if I had a heat pump call or not. Well, that's what we're going to look at when it comes to financials if you are a business owner, which most of the people who subscribe to this channel are business owners. So we're going to look at that aspect and why you may be avoiding your numbers simply because you don't understand them. And so my job as a coach and a trainer is to help you get to a level where you can feel really comfortable about understanding your numbers so that you can make informed decisions from what the numbers are telling you.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna be.
What's up, guys? If you're new to my channel, my name is Kelly McKay, aka HVAC Millionaire, right here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, and leave me a comment below. So you heard what I just talked about. Like, I know in the beginning I hated heat pumps, couldn't stand them, thought they were stupid, and we tend to do that with things that we don't understand fully. And because of that, I wanted to avoid those calls. I didn't necessarily want to be the person to go to those calls, but thankfully I got sent to a lot of them, and over time, relatively short amount of time, I understood them, and all of a sudden heat pumps are no longer a big deal. Real quick break, guys. This Wednesday I'm doing the profitable pricing workshop again, and I want to see you there because your pricing is something that we have to get right. It's what drives the numbers in your company. It's going to drive the profit that you need to build your company. So be sure to join me, get in that class. The link's in the description. I'll see you there. Well, in the heating and air conditioning business, if you're a technician like me, turned business owner like me, then you may find that you avoid the things that you don't understand. You also want to point the finger at the things you don't understand as being the problem that you're not being successful. Let me give you an example of that. On heat pumps, the calls that I would go to, well, guess what? Guess where I would point the finger to when I couldn't find it in the normal stuff, and I would see this complicated defrost control board or this complicated strip heat package that I didn't understand at the time. Well, I always wanted to point my finger, it's got to be something in that board. You know, it's got to be something in that reversing valve. So that's what human beings, I believe, tend to do, is we tend to think the problem is the thing that we don't understand. But oftentimes, when I started to learn more about heat pumps, for instance, and strip heat packages, then I could actually check it and actually know if that was the problem or not. Well, it's the same with financials. You need to have a certain level of understanding, and you need to look at them in order to be able to make the smartest decisions you can make for your business so that you can continue to grow and expand, or just be more profitable. Whether growth is not even on your list and you just want to be more profitable, well, it's going to be in the financials because that's going to tell us a lot about the system. Kind of like hooking up your gauges to a system, checking the superheat and subcooling. When you know that, it tells you so much about the system. Same with financials. When you look at the financials, they tell you so much about your business. And your business, look, it's just a collection of processes. It's a collection of systems that all are put together to make this business function. I don't know if you're old enough to remember, because I'm an old dude at this point, is that we used to have to balance a checkbook. The digital banking, like, you could get a statement mailed to your house at the end of every month, but you couldn't just go look on your phone and see the the deposits and withdrawals coming out of your bank account. But before that, we used a checkbook, and you would write, well, I got paid my $500 paycheck or $600 paycheck, and then I had to pay the water bill, the utilities, and then I had to pay the cable bill, and then I had to put gas in my car, then I had to go to the grocery store. Yeah, and you could spend $80 at the grocery store back then and get, a full basket of groceries. That's not happening today. You get one little bag with like four things in it. It's fucking ridiculous. But anyhow, and so you would write this down. Every time you'd had a transaction, you would write a check out of your checking, and then you would write it down. And then whatever was left over, that was how much was left over. Well, your business financials are no different. So just like the personal checking account and using a checkbook and balancing your checkbook, that's basically what a profit and loss statement is doing. So I want you to think of your profit and loss statement like it's a river. Like just as your personal checking account is, you've got money that comes in and it flows and then it flows out. Now, if you wanted to get technical, you could say there's all these little things that you're paying for along the way, like your CRM, right? Money leaks out of your river, paying your CRM, your CSR, or admin, people that are in the office that aren't directly producing cash for your business. They're gonna take some of that money as it flows through. You should be paying yourself in this somewhere, so maybe you're part of the admin here. And then, think of like your mortgage on your building, or your rent, or your lease, your insurance. So as this money is flowing in, cash money is flowing into your business, it's also flowing out. And it's a constant flow, in and out, in and out, in and out. And if we're really good in our business, and we're going to find these little pockets where we can kind of hang on to the money, right? So let's say here's a pocket of money, here's a pocket of money, and we're constantly looking for ways that we can save money in the business, because that money that we save is going to fall to our bottom line or our net profit. And that's basically what's happening on a profit and loss statement or an income statement. It's the same thing, just different names. Your income statement or your profit and loss, P&L. And we need to look at these. So if you're not looking at these on a regular basis, we have to fix that. And you may, if your books are just in shambles, like you're going to have to pay somebody to get this straightened out for you. And it needs to happen in ASAP so that we can start looking at the health of the business and making adjustments where necessary to make sure that we create a healthy, strong company. And it takes, healthy, strong companies make money. So they don't just make money, they keep money. Because some of this money that we get to keep, we're going to invest into other things that make the business more valuable, or allow us to provide a better service to our customers, or finally pay yourself. All this, you work so hard and you're making pennies on every dollar, if that, and maybe it's time for a raise so that you can stay engaged with the business and not get to a point where you actually resent the business because you're not making any money. Well, your profit and loss statement, it consists of, here's the major items of a profit and loss. You've got your total income, which is your sales. Your total sales, that's your top line revenue. When people say, like, what did you do for revenue last year? That's what they're talking about, your total income, sales, your revenue. And then you've got your cost of goods sold. This is what it takes to actually deliver the service that you sold, which means your equipment, your parts, your field labor should be in that number. And you're going to minus all those expenses for that. Some people will even add in their financing, the dealer fees. So if you offer financing and you pay like a 9% dealer fee when the customer chooses a plan to finance their equipment through you, well, then you might add those in there too, because that is a cost of the goods sold. Or you can put it in expenses. That's one of those that I see on different people. They do it different ways. It's not one that I'm primarily concerned with. What I'm more concerned with is making sure that your field labor is up here, and all your equipment and your parts, your rentals. If you had to rent like a scissor lift for a job, you would make sure to put it up there as well, because that was, you had to go rent that lift to make the sale happen, to deliver the sale, you know, because that's the thing in our business. Once you sell it, it's not over. Like, you still have to deliver the service. And so that's what cost of goods sold are, is the things that it takes you, what the money has to be paid to actually be able to deliver that service. Now, once you get through there, if we're looking at percentages, your total income is always 100%. What I really care about is our gross profit. And anytime we talk about percentages, when we look at the gross profit as a percentage, that is called a margin. So when I say gross profit margin, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm looking for, we don't want anything below 40% typically here. So anything below 40%, you're really going to struggle to earn any net profit for your company. And you're probably struggling to pay your people what they deserve. You're probably struggling to give yourself a raise, to add benefits like a simple IRA plan for your employees, or doing something special for them on occasion, or giving them a big Christmas bonus. Like, if that number gets too low, your gross profit margin, you're going to struggle with cash. So let's say 50% is what I'd love to see that at, or higher. And then after we get here, it's minus the expenses. And that's all the things that I was talking about on our river of money here. We've got our CRM expense, we've got our insurance, we got our mortgage, we got our fuel, our vehicle maintenance, the maintenance that needs to be done on the shop where your business lives. Man, there's so many expenses that it takes. Your phones, your internet, like your electricity, all these things. So after all these things are listed, your expenses, and those are typically going to be between 25 to 35% as well, then whatever's left over is your net profit. And when you look at net profit as a percentage, it would be your net profit margin, because percentage just means margin. So let's say we have 100%, and let's say after cost of goods sold, let's say it's 50%. If you're paying well, like, it could be 50%. That leaves you 50% with a gross profit margin. You're still an incredibly healthy company at that point. And then, so 50% minus, let's say your total gross expenses were 30%. Well, 50 minus 30 would leave you 20% net. And that's a really healthy company. So when you look at this on a regular basis, you're going to see things start to slip. For instance, as you naturally grow your business, you're going to add expenses, and those expenses come in the way of more vehicles, more insurance, more benefits, more subscriptions. Maybe it's time to hire a coach. Maybe it's time to hire Coach Kelly, right? That's going to be an expense, but Coach Kelly is going to help you make a lot more money in your business and have a lot less stress in your business. So that's totally going to pay for itself 10 times over. But you want to look at these numbers and try to begin the process of adjusting them to make sure that our numbers are falling in line, so that there's something left over, so that we can build this asset of a business. A business is an asset, much like a house. Think of your business as like a fixer-upper. Like, let's say you purchase a house as a fixer-upper, and it needs a new kitchen, and it needs a new bathrooms need to be redone. It needs a new roof, needs a new paint job or siding. It needs landscaping out front. Like, you need all this work that you put into the business. Well, that's what we're using this money for, in these little pockets that we're saving money that will actually fall to our bottom line in our net profit. We're going to use the money for different ways. That's going to help us invest in more assets for the business. Right? Just like purchasing a fixer-upper. If I actually do the fixer-upper work, it's going to increase in value. And so is your business. And your business increases in value by you working yourself out of the field, by you increasing your net profit, by you building a really attractive company that attracts other people to come work for you, that's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to scale. The processes are your systems that you built inside of your business that make it all connect together and run efficiently and effectively. So if we can just focus on this, but you have to look at these, right? You can't ignore them. You cannot wait till the end of the year to find out if you made money or not. You need to start looking at them today, weekly, at the bare minimum monthly, and look and see where you're at so that we can begin fixing the business so that we can improve this number, but at the same time take a lot of things off your plate and remove a lot of stress from your daily life in your company. So I am doing a profitable pricing workshop coming up this week, Wednesday. The link's in the description. Be sure to join me. Can't wait to see you there. And this is step one. Like, you have to get this right. Pricing is something that we revisit over and over and over and over again throughout the history of your company to make sure that it's spot on so that we can have some of that net profit margin left over so that we can live happily ever after in our businesses and build an asset that's actually worth something. So when you do go to sell it or pass it down to the next generation in your family, that there's something there that actually works. So join me on that masterclass. I will see you there. Go make money. Boom.